Hello to a random event of a random person doing random things. I've got nothing better to do, and I just watched Gravity Falls entirely for the first time. 9 years late to the party, but good enough. Uh, she kinda just cheap gags. She's fine, I guess. Still, no comment. This guy is like the biggest wimp ever. Sheriff, he's not really a main character, but as like a side character, I'd say he's fairly decent. I'd give him a C tier. This guy's the biggest pusher ever. Candy gets a whole episode to herself. Not really, but it's roadside attraction, so I mean, it's like a side character. She does alright. I have no idea. I don't remember that character. I know he's a Minotaur, but I don't care about him, so eh. Dipper, I mean, he's honestly a pretty big part of Gravity Falls. I guess ST. Um, this guy, I mean, he's just kind of gags with this Gideon. I mean, don't really care for him. He had a whole season where he was basically an enemy. Um, too bad nobody cares for him. He had a little bit of a character arc. The character arc was like the fastest character arc, and I don't believe that he would have just changed sides that quick. So yeah, that's where I put him. Uh, Nouns I don't really care about. Greta, she kind she had Northwest Mansion, and she kind of struggled from the fact that it was only her, that she was fighting Pacifica for the spot in that, which kind of felt crammed in. I'll rank her with friend there. Susan, I mean, I've given her DT. I don't remember this guy doing anything. Mabel, actually, thinking about the Pines twins, both of them have like amnesia or something, because apparently they completely forgot everything during the season. Like, they just blatantly. I mean, I guess that's flawed. You can kind of understand them, but I mean, I always found it kind of funny that Mabel had like 20, 100 sweaters, and one nightgown. It's like the purple VHS one. She wore it like a ton of times. You can check. Dipper was a sleep Dipper there. Mabel. I honestly think her character would have more than just one nightgown, but that's the only real thing. It's kind of small for us. I mean, Kake, he gets an A tier from you as a pretty chill character, honestly. Um, Mikake, I think there's a video on him which says what I think about him pretty well. Like, he had a good amount of development. He got blind eye. Um, he got a whole episode to himself, and he didn't feel like other things were being crammed in there, like with Norwest mentioned, but Greta was just getting crammed in there. She appears for like one. She appears for like one episode and does nothing. You'd think they'd do a bit more with her. They did one episode and then just called it a day with her. I mean, Lana. I mean, probably one of the better label crushes. We'll give him a low B tier. He was fairly decent. This guy, he showed up once in like the Weird Mageddon thing. Um, do I really care for him is the question. Hmm. I mean, it was kind of funny, so we'll give him C tier. Actually, the gnomes. I'm reconsidering the gnomes. The gnomes were just in the first episode. And it's kind of nice they didn't just delete her and not her, them immediately. Like they were used a bit more. I believe in the thingy they were the pilot. That's what it was. They just immediately turned to stone. Um. Oh, that reminds me. I should put a spoiler warning at the start of this video. Man, I am stupid. The multi-bear. I mean, they gave him an episode which is honestly decent. I don't care for him anyways. They didn't give this guy an episode. like I remember him from like Inconveniencing, which is like the fourth, fifth one. Um, that's kind of all I remember him from. I don't really care for him further. We'll throw. Gotta be fair, we gotta throw him with this guy. Pacifica showed up for Norwest Mansion, became love, and then just OF4 and never showed up again. I feel like it would have been nice to have one extra episode on her, but she did have like a pretty good character arc, so I mean, I would have liked it more if she had a bit more, rather than just like one character arc. Um, her dad, is her mum here? No, her dad. This guy is a pretty big buffoon. Um, he's pretty incapable. He immediately put it into Bill Bucks and then got surprised when they lost. Come on, man, you gotta know it. You gotta know you're in a TV show. He's gonna win, obviously. And also, I'm not sure why you would put your money into someone who changes your nose to your left ear, but okay. Robert. Do I care for this little emo boy? I might speak on a little bit more context later. That's actually what I might think about doing. Robbie, Robbie and Tambry both got an episode. Tambry, I mean, they got Love God, but Love God. Apparently, the message is if they love each other enough, then they're fine. Robbie, Tambry, I mean, I don't care for Tambry. Robbie gets D tier. Waddles, obviously, he didn't have any real character arc. It was kind of funny seeing Stan have a character arc in Lamp for Swine, and also Mabel just freaking hitting her head over and over again. Um, where do I want to rank Waddles? I don't think I can. I'll put him at the top of B tier. Reason being, these guys all had pretty big character arcs. Apart from Bill, he's just the best of than ever. Um, Waddles, no one cares. I mean, obviously we care, but he didn't really have a character arc or anything. Because I mean, I believe it's Gift Shop or Horrors. He did get something, but he was smarter. But Gift Shop or Horrors isn't canon, so we don't care about it. Uh, the lowest rated show on IMDb, I believe. Honestly, I don't see a problem with them. They were alright. They were kind of alright. Don't know why they immediately went to believe Mabel. It was kind of a missed opportunity of an episode, but it's Gravity Falls, so the episode isn't bad in any way. My rank, I'm thinking high D or low C. We'll go low C. This supporter is like Susan or something. We see her a couple times. Not enough times for me to care though. And not enough times to dodge that I don't care. Couple big characters. Who on earth is this guy? Oh, it's one of Wendy's friends, isn't it? Yeah, I don't care for Wendy's friends. Um, this guy, he had a pretty funny joke in Thingy. I forget the episode, the one where Wax Stan gets his head lobbed off. Hmm. He's the biggest pushover ever. It's either E or straight up I don't care. I straight up don't care. Sue's not S tier, but Wood've got pretty. Like, I'm gonna be honest here. Most of the characters in all of the Gravity Falls series, they're getting pretty high. I'm judging them between each other. So, for example, this girl would probably get like B tier compared to, say, I don't know, what's a random show that I like, I don't know, just random filler show. Stan third. Ford. The whole season was spent about him, and then he just gets crammed in everywhere. He is the author, but the problem I have with him is that he just felt crammed in. Like Stanchurian candidate, that he just got crammed in there somehow. But they just felt like they had to use him, which isn't a bad thing, but it's not the best either. I'm gonna rank him high A, but high A because obviously he's actually a pretty big part of the show and a pretty big part of Dipper's whole arc thing. The mayor, I mean, he was the backbone in the whole thing, but the whole throne of people, but I don't really care for him, do I? Like, he showed up for one episode and did literally nothing. I can't say I care for him. Then, honestly, he had a pretty good character arc during Weird Mechanic 3, and I feel like he definitely is either with his brother or S. I say S because he was in the show a whole lot more than this guy was, and Ford was. And finally we got Wendy, who I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember any episodes where she was dedicated. Like, you can't, okay. She might be the lowest ranked of the main characters. Like, 'cause she definitely had something, but the whole bunker one was just depressing. I would have liked it if we saw, like, what was about her character in episode. Because during, I believe it was this guy's episode, Blind Eye, I would have liked it if Wendy had like a little bit of more information on the whole. She's constantly stressed and just kind of coping, which I mean, let's be honest. One, two, three, four. Like all of these characters are just coping, like with something. Minus Waddles and Bill. Romano, I mean, he showed up for like one episode, a couple times, had a pretty funny joke. Alright, now let's see. I don't want to throw all these characters in the dust with the I don't care, so maybe I'll reconsider them. The Minotaur showed up for like one episode. Dude, I don't care. Multi-Bear had a little bit of an arc and a revelation for Tipper. Maybe Lodi. The gnomes, I mean, they kept them alive to use them a little bit, and they didn't really do much. I mean, they were a fun side role, but I'll, I'll give them a high D tier. All of Wendy's friends, they didn't really get much. C tier for. Actually, this guy gets C tier. This guy. Did this guy do anything? Like, he was pretty much just useless. I don't remember him doing a single damn thing. Like, maybe say out, call me out in the comments, but I don't remember him doing anything. I mean, he had the whole sarcastic bit, but again, I don't remember him doing anything. Camry, at least I remember her doing something, which is more than I can say for these two. Like, I'll give them beating. Uh, she literally just showed up TV a couple times. I mean, give her a high E tier. He just had a bunch of coke jokes, which was pretty funny, but I give him a C tier. The mayor did jack. Like, he showed up once and then did absolutely nothing. What I will say for the list I have now, in S tier we have Bill, who no comment. Dipper, who I mean, I like that he during an episode didn't rely on the show, and during Norwest he was at least a man of his word and told Pacific off, so that was pretty. Like, at least he's not a wimp or something, which is more than I can say for a lot of TV characters. I don't really remember many specifically, but you could probably think of a lot where, like, they say something, a character shows up immediately behind the door and they just retract it immediately. Dipper at least gains the respect to and just sees through with his thing. Actually, I give Stan higher than the kids because he had a pretty big arc. Also, he is really bad at explaining things. It would have been a dozen times easier if he just explained to the kids, "Yo, I'm building. What am I saying? Building a portal underground in a labyrinth. Don't worry about it. I'm doing it to bring my brother back. Who's the author of the journals? Um, yeah, so that's cool, right? Uh, uh, I mean, I don't really. That's about all I remember. Mabel. I always found it kind of funny that during Weed Mageddon 3, she parachutes, despite still having a fear of heights from curing Stan's fear of heights. Like, does she ever come over her fear of heights? Because, like, off screen, apparently, she just parachutes, which you'd think that parachuting would get her at least a little bit nervous. Like, she was like for a second, yeah, should we really? And then maybe Stan would be like using her as an excuse to not do it, which would have made a bit of sense. They probably cut it because the time would just straight up forgot a side joke thing. So yeah, that makes sense. I'm considering putting Stan into S tier. He's very pivotal to the plot, but he does, apart from journals, he does absolutely nothing until like the last 5 to 10 episodes. And in those episodes, they just like cram him in and just see how they can just include him in some way, shape, or form. Like, also, oh, that reminds me, another thing I want to touch on about Stan. I still have to rank Bill higher. Maybe I'll move everything down one and then, how does this work? What do I want to rank this as? The best. Um, yeah, get in there, Cypher. I think Cypher gets the best rank. Also gets this lovely slope going, so just my respect for that. Is that Big Henry? Nah. If there was Big Henry, I'd definitely give him the best just for the memes. Unfortunately, this tier list doesn't have it, and I'm not smart enough to actually do it. So, yeah, that's fun. Stanford, Dipper, and Mabel, both for a couple things. Mabel has a couple quirks, like one nightgown on her character. You'd expect her to have like 20 nightgowns, but for 100 sweaters. But no, she just has one nightgown. It's like the purple one for VHS one. You can check anytime she's like going to bed. She usually wears a. You can usually predict she's wearing the purple one. Stanford, Stanford, Stanford. I'm still considering putting him up into S, but yeah, no, I don't think I can rank Stanford any higher. Simply because he just felt a bit too crammed in, especially during Stanchurian candidate. Also, I it's kind of funny that during Stanchurian, both these two just forget to put something in, do the paperwork. You'd think the first thing would be to do the paperwork. This guy somehow just gets it from doing the paperwork. That's why you're an E, buddy. You do the papers, you nerd. Um, um, Med Um, honestly, I like what they did with his character. I don't think there's anything else they could have added to his character. Um, Pacifica, she has problems. Like you should probably get that checked out. Orders crazy amount of problems. Some of you in the comments may say Wendy deserves higher, and to that I say maybe she should have got one episode about her. Like, cause Into the Bunker is the only episode that I really remember Wendy in. And the unicorn one, but both those were for these two S tiers. So yeah, whatever. So I don't think I can rank it any higher than B tier because she doesn't really have an arc. She's just yo, Dipper, you kind of yeah, I know you kind of shower on me or something, but you know, character arc stuff, so I kind of have to let's just have a heart to heart, which I think Into the Bunker is pretty good. Just why? Sue's Sue's at least gets a little bit of an episode. Like these two are just looking to fall out for him, which and in terms of main characters, you would probably rank like if this was a list about who cares the most, like up here, like easily, he is easily the most caring. Honestly, honestly, when you think about it, everyone above Wendy, just Wendy and ASN the best all have like a backstory. Apparently, Bill burnt his woman down, which yeah, uh, very irredeemable. It's always funny trying to see shows trying to make irredeemable characters, because and this is and Gravity Falls probably did it the best. I have to say, like Gravity Falls done good here. Pacifica, I feel like she should have had a little bit, even if she was in the background. I would like that she had a little bit more involvement in like after Northwest Mansion, because after Northwest Mansion, she just OF forward until Weird Mageddon, which I can't remember how many episodes that is, but it is a couple episodes. It's like episode 8 of season 2, I think. I digress. Wendy, she just feels like a missed opportunity. Like you could have talked about her family, you could have talked about losing her mother, you could have given her a date like Sue, or something. Like you could have had her go to there's a motorbike and apparently someone's using a jackhammer outside. uh, I'm not sure if you can hear that. So we got Wendy here. Wendy. And she definitely has a sad backstory. Like you could, I would understand if you ranked her low 80. Personally, she just needed a little bit more because she didn't really get much. Portals, no comment. Uh, Gideon, honestly, for season one villain, he was actually pretty good. Um, yeah, I don't really have much to say about Gideon. He was in prison during season two, and like his dad is a complete pushover. Like, get to the bottom of E tier, buddy. Like, um, like he uses an amulet, which maybe a quick short about how the backstory of how he got his hands on it. Maybe a quick short about how, like, how on earth did a scam get so big? Ramondo, he is simply the best of Meeble's crushes. Like, just straight up the best. I think Water S Rank, by the way, in case you're not, I think Water S Rank was about equally good. Um, I should have said at the start of this that I recommend you to watch it. Huh. So I'm gonna put spoilers in here. Kinda late, but better late than never, I guess. Gretel and Candy both don't really get. They're just side characters. Same with the officers. They're not very good officers, to be fair. And this guy, he showed up for like one episode. Oh, F4 into Weird Mageddon, apparently. Um, yeah, the band it several times, I believe. Several times was like they were in that one episode. That's still not very smart. I would have liked it if they had a little bit more backstory, not backstory, but like a little bit more development. Like they got more functional brain cells. This this little boy, I did not care for at all. He's a he is apparently he was trying to be a dancer and going for Broadway. Then he became a news reporter who was constant, just a big weeb. Kind of pathetic, but whatever. Gnomes. The gnomes, they were in the unicorn episode and the very first episode. They were pretty good villains and also pretty good allies during Weird Mageddon. Suzu's mother was actually pretty good. Like she genuinely cared. She had some funny jokes, but she moved pretty quickly. She did. She was somehow more short than Wendy. Yeah, she just kind of an old lady that just didn't really care for much apart from like Susan stuff, you know. Um, Lazy Eye Susan. Like, C to E are just side characters which I don't really care much for, to be honest. Like, to be honest, I just don't care for them much. And she definitely falls into the category of she showed up for like one episode, made background appearances in like the rest. Robbie is like the most desperate person I've ever seen, which I thought was kind of funny. And also apparently he's also aware of the blind eye, which is interesting. The multi-bear raises several questions about its existence, but it's kind of funny. It's, I mean, I'm not really sure how we'd struggle beating it. You just tell a riddle and all the heads just begin arguing, eh? That would have been really funny if that was how it got defeated, but me. Tambry, she's just on her phone the whole time. Like, honestly, all these side characters could definitely have had an episode, apart from E-Takers. Like, maybe blending, like, after we've blending up, that's kind of it, really. Blendon is the only character that could have, like, bottom of D tier. Blendon, like, like, this guy got a whole episode with Suze in it, but not really based, so it doesn't count. Nathaniel Northwest, is it? No, that's his father. That episode his grandfather. It's Mr. Northwest, I'd call him. Pretty iffy character. I can't really say much about him. The Minotauro, who cares? The Minotauro showed up for an episode and didn't really do much. Um, Honestly, for all the ET characters, there's not really much to say because they don't do much. Like, you could make a slight argument for some of the characters. I cannot think of any arguments to move them up, even to like low D tier. Blendon's the only character that could make it, and apparently he's in the 1800s. So that's interesting. Which raises the question of does time exist in a closed loop? Like, what loop does time exist in? Does it exist in like a closed loop like Doctor Who series, or does it exist in a different way? Like, how does time work? Kind of curious. Um, like, all kinds of things could have been done with Time Baby. And how powerful Time Baby is made out to be, they will just one-shot him, which is interesting and absolutely hilarious. Um, bum. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. So in conclusion, I'd say honestly, all four of these characters, Bill and any of the SJ characters could rank as the best. Like that is interchangeable. And another thing that's interchangeable is moving Wendy up, giving Waddle's best for memes. That's all I really can say. Gideon's dad is the biggest bush ever. No one cares about him. Like I somehow care for him even less than this pushover, which is kind of impressive, but I digress. So yeah, that's the video. Now I go to the editing and well, I'm not really sure how to do this. So this is my second video. Like, sub, please, please help the poor.